What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Daniel Dubois, Dillian Whyte. Daniel Dubois makes this statement in response to Dillian Whyte's comments towards Dubois after Dubois quit in the 10th round against the highly anticipated fight between himself and Joe Joyce. Of course, we know Dubois took a knee. He took a bow and he quit. Okay, he quit because his eye was swollen. His eye was bruised. His eye was beyond bruised. It was sticking out. You know, he had a severe swelling on that eye, and reports state that he could have lost the eye or could have took further damage to the eye. And for that reason, he quit. Now, do I blame him for quitting? No, I don't necessarily blame him for quitting. I mean, he never had that type of injury before. He was fairly new in the game. Like I told you guys, that the lack of experience will be the factor in that fight. Okay, not because you can throw bombs and good combinations. Okay, you need more than that sometimes. And not necessarily hearts you need the experience on how to survive. Okay, because that fight wasn't a wash. It was just, he kept taking punishment in one area of his face, his eye, his nose, and his lips. So he was really getting headhunted by Dubois. Dubois was peppering him with that jab, and he didn't have an answer for it. And what I mean, the answer could have been easy. Head movement and counter, pull counter, those type of things. You think Daniel Dubois would have done that to somebody like Anthony Joshua? Think about it. He was probably in there with one of the best jabbers of the business with Pulev, right? Pulev had a very good jab, a very sneaky jab. They had a pivoting jab. Whereas Joyce had a good jab for the size, or should I say for the speed that he possesses. The jab was actually quite effective. And it wasn't all that fast. It was just accurate. But Dubois didn't have an answer for it because he hadn't been in there with somebody that can take those big bombs right away like Joyce did take. He took some good shots from Dubois and didn't go anywhere. So the question would be now, what does Dubois do? Is Dubois that kind of dude? If he can't knock you out, he can't win? See, there's a lot of things that we didn't know about Dubois. Like I told you guys, most of his wins were 1- and 2-round knockouts, and I think a lot of those were stopped easy. Okay, and that's my counterpunch on Dubois. But this is what he did say. He said, "I'll show Dillian Whyte how big of a quitter I am." Okay, obviously that bothers him. We know that he is now with Mark Tibbs, which is the former trainer of Dillian Whyte. I think that fight could be made later on down the way. Okay, not now. I think Dubois needs to get his confidence back. I think he needs a tough opponent, but not that damn tough. Because if you think Joe Joyce will punch you with a jab and swell you up, what do you think Dillian Whyte will do with the jab that he possesses? And he has a very good jab himself. You know, flurries won't get a fighter out of there all the time. He learned that. See, a guy like Dubois thought, hey, I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to be the first to do it. Okay, well, what do you do when that didn't happen? He showed us no answer for that. So if he goes in there with someone like Dillian Whyte, he'll be in for another long night. And he might quit again because that eye may not be ready. It's your eye. You have optic nerves and very sensitive things in your eye. Nothing is probably as delicate as your eye. Okay, so you need your eyes to see. Okay, you don't want to be called, Daniel the Cyclops. All right, you want both of your eyes to maintain your career. He's still young, and these type of things happen in the sport. But what you don't want to do out of anger, because I know that's what it is. You don't want to have a couple sessions with Mark Tibbs, the former trainer of Dillian Whyte, and he tells you a couple things that Dillian Whyte did, and then for that reason, you want to lash out at him and talk yourself into a fight. Because, see, Dillian Whyte is one of those guys that he will take that fight. And that won't be good for Daniel Dubois because he is coming off a loss. and the kind of loss that he was coming off of, the kind of loss that ended in injury. Okay, his failure to respond or to continue fighting. He could have moved, but again, he didn't have the tools, or he wasn't instructed on the technique to get away from that jab. You know what I mean? It just, move your head, counter, move your head, counter, make him think every time he throws that jab, he has something coming back. Nobody told him that at all. So yeah, he was done in the third round. He was doomed for a loss. Why? Because nobody was telling him how to get out of that jab. They were telling him, hey, you're in a fight. This is what it is. They weren't telling him anything else. Okay? And you need to instruct a young fighter like that when he's getting attacked. And they should have stopped. Okay, he's coming in with the jab. That's all he's really coming in with. Joe Joyce didn't even start throwing the right hand until when? 6th, 7th round, he started connecting with a right hand finally after the jab was established to that degree. So that tells you the only thing he was really catching him with is that, the jab to the head and the jab to the body. Okay, that's really all he was really doing to Dubois. Dubois was catching him with combinations, but they were sporadic. They weren't constant. Okay. He had to be consistent with that. But guess what? He was getting hurt with the jab, and he started saying, hey, my eye's swollen. I'm not accustomed to this shit. What am I going to do about it? Nobody told him what to do about it. But going in there with someone like Dillian Whyte, now, no, that would be a bad thing. Even though Dillian Whyte has came back, I think Dillian Whyte would be favored. Why? Because, unless he catches a good uppercut. But if you know how to fight a guy that has not improved, not saying that he won't with Mark Tibbs, but, you have to practice those type of things in the gym. And then most importantly, you have to anticipate them. And they didn't anticipate any of that for Joe Joyce. They just thought he was a slow, big dulcer. Right? So they thought, hey, we're going to hit him a couple times. He's going to go. We're going to knock that wall down, walk over that wall, and keep going to the next obstacle, the next opponent. That's what they thought they were going to do. It didn't happen that way. But him fighting Dillian Whyte, it's far too soon. He needs a tune-up fight to get his bearings back, to get his confidence back, to work on, to experiment with that eye to see if he is up to par or ready to fight. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think of Daniel Dubois lashing out at Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.